Seniors, what if the first sign that diabetes is damaging your health is not in your blood sugar test, but hidden in your eyes? Think about it. For decades you've trusted yearly checkups, glasses prescriptions, maybe even eye drops from the pharmacy. But here's the shocking truth: some of the most dangerous diabetes symptoms don't start in your hands or your feet, they start silently in your vision. After 60, the eyes are one of the first organs to show tiny warning lights. A little blur here, harder to see at night, or sudden headaches behind the eyes, these aren't just normal aging. They can be the first cry for help from your body, signaling high blood sugar is already harming your blood vessels and nerves. The scary part? By the time most seniors notice obvious vision loss, damage is often advanced, sometimes permanent. Yet, if caught early, many of these changes can be slowed, or even prevented, with the right action. So stay with me. In this video, I'll reveal 12 specific diabetes eye symptoms seniors must watch out for. Some are so subtle you might ignore them today, but regret tomorrow. Symptom number 1, blurred vision. It often starts quietly. A senior notices the newspaper letters swimming, or the TV subtitles suddenly doubling, as if a thin fog has crept into the room. That fleeting blur may vanish after blinking, but it returns at the most inconvenient times: reading a prescription, crossing the street, or driving at night. Blurred vision in diabetes is not just a minor annoyance. When blood sugar spikes, fluid shifts into the lens of the eye. The shape of that lens swells and warps, bending light the wrong way. For someone over 60, the effect is stronger because aging eyes already struggle to focus. Tiny blood vessels at the back of the eye, the retina, also face constant stress from glucose. Each swing up and down leaves the delicate tissue weaker, less able to send a sharp image to the brain. Why is this dangerous? Because repeated blurring is an early marker of diabetic retinopathy, the leading cause of blindness in adults after 60 in the US. Ignoring it means allowing those fragile vessels to leak or rupture. And once vision is lost, it rarely returns. The tragedy is that many think it's just old age until it's too late. The good news? Simple steps like consistent glucose monitoring, yearly dilated eye exams, and nutrient-rich foods for eye health can dramatically slow this process. But blurred vision is only the beginning. What comes next may surprise you even more. Symptom number 2, sudden vision changes at night. Picture this: a senior leaves the living room after dinner, steps into the hallway, and suddenly the world seems darker than it should be. Streetlights outside look dimmer, car headlights blur into halos, and navigating stairs feels like walking into shadows. These sudden changes in night vision are a common but overlooked diabetes symptom. Here's what's happening inside the eye. High blood sugar makes tiny retinal vessels leak, causing subtle swelling in the macula, the part responsible for sharp detail. In low light conditions, the retina struggles harder, and the rods, cells designed for night vision, can't adapt quickly. For adults over 60, natural aging of the lens already scatters more light. Add unstable glucose, and the result is confusion between what's dim and what's clear. Why is this so dangerous? Because poor night vision means greater risk of falls, accidents while driving, or even missing a step at home. Beyond the immediate danger, these nighttime struggles can point to early diabetic retinopathy or cataracts accelerated by unstable glucose. Studies show seniors after 60 with diabetes have nearly double the chance of nighttime accidents compared to those without. The most painful part is the loss of independence, needing someone else to drive, or fearing to walk outside after dark. That sense of freedom slipping away can weigh heavily on mental health. And yet, this is not the scariest warning your eyes may give. The next symptom goes deeper, and it often repeats without mercy. Symptom number 3, frequent eye infections. Imagine this: a senior wakes up with red, itchy eyes for the 3rd time this month. The lids feel heavy, there's crust on the lashes, and the irritation makes even watching TV uncomfortable. What seems like a simple infection, pink eye or a recurring sty, may actually be one of the silent diabetes symptoms hiding in plain sight. High glucose levels create a perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. In people over 60, the tear film that protects the eyes thins with age, leaving less natural defense. Combine that with diabetes-induced dryness and slower wound healing, and the delicate eye tissue becomes vulnerable. Each blink no longer washes away germs effectively, allowing infections to return again and again. This is more than an inconvenience. Chronic eye infections can scar the cornea, blur vision permanently, or even spread deeper into the eye socket. For many, the frustration isn't just about pain, it's about the loss of confidence. After 60, when health is already fragile, constant eye problems can mean giving up reading, driving, or simply enjoying a sunny walk without discomfort. The longing for clear, pain-free vision turns into a daily wish. Ignoring repeated infections is risky, because they often signal uncontrolled glucose-damaging immune defenses. And here's the unsettling part: the infections are just the surface. Beneath them, your eyes may already be under attack in ways you cannot see. Symptom number 4, dry eyes and burning sensation. It feels like sand has been sprinkled across the eyes, gritty, stinging, and impossible to ignore. For a senior trying to read a newspaper or watch a grandchild's school play, that constant burning steals away life's simple pleasures. What many dismiss as just tired eyes is often another hidden diabetes symptom. Here's the science. When blood sugar stays high, the tiny glands along the eyelids that produce protective tears become inflamed. The tear film thins, leaving the surface of the eye exposed. For adults over 60, natural tear production is already declining. Add the metabolic stress of diabetes, and the result is a chronic dryness that makes every blink painful instead of refreshing. Why should this worry you? Persistent dry eyes aren't just uncomfortable, they can scratch the cornea, increase infection risk, and blur vision at the worst moments. More importantly, they are a clue that your overall health is slipping out of balance. Studies confirm that people after 60 with diabetes have a higher rate of severe ocular surface disease, which can quietly progress toward irreversible damage if ignored. The emotional toll is heavy too. Many long for the relief of waking up without burning eyes, of enjoying a sunset without constant irritation. That yearning for ease is something no drop bottle can fully replace. And dryness is only part of the story, because the next symptom doesn't just sting, it can suddenly cloud your sight in ways that are far more alarming. Symptom number 5, seeing floaters or dark spots. You're enjoying a quiet afternoon, when suddenly dark specks drift across your vision, like tiny flies that no one else can see. For a senior, these floaters may appear out of nowhere, breaking the peace of reading, sewing, or even praying. At first, they vanish as quickly as they came, leaving you wondering if it was just your imagination. But when they return often, it may be more than coincidence, it may be a hidden diabetes symptom. Inside the eye, high blood sugar weakens fragile blood vessels of the retina. Small leaks release blood or protein into the vitreous gel, casting moving shadows that the brain interprets as spots or threads. For those over 60, natural changes in the eye already thin these tissues. Combined with diabetes, the damage accelerates. This is why floaters appear more frequently and linger longer. Why is this dangerous? Because floaters can be the earliest sign of diabetic retinopathy or even retinal detachment. Left unchecked, the shadows that seem harmless today could darken into permanent vision loss tomorrow. In the US, diabetic retinopathy remains one of the top causes of blindness after 60, and delayed action makes treatment harder. Beyond the medical risk, the emotional pain runs deep, the fear of losing independence, the dread of no longer seeing loved ones clearly. Eye health is tied to dignity, and no one wants to surrender it. But if floaters are a silent alarm, the next symptom can strike suddenly, snatching away sharp sight in a far more unsettling way. Symptom number 6, double vision episodes. Have you ever looked at a familiar face and suddenly seen two instead of one? For a senior, that moment of double vision can feel frightening, especially when it appears while driving, walking downstairs, or even pouring a glass of water. Unlike simple blurriness, this symptom distorts the world, making every task confusing and unsafe. Here's why it happens. Elevated glucose in diabetes damages the tiny nerves that control eye muscles. When those muscles no longer move in perfect coordination, the eyes fail to align images properly. For people over 60, natural stiffening of the eye muscles already makes focusing harder. Add diabetes to the equation, and the brain is forced to reconcile two competing images, resulting in sudden, disturbing duplication. This isn't just an inconvenience. Double vision can be a red flag for progressive diabetic neuropathy or even a mini-stroke triggered by unstable circulation. Studies show that adults after 60 with poorly managed glucose face sharply higher risks of ocular nerve palsy. That means a fleeting episode could be the precursor to permanent vision loss or serious neurological damage. The emotional weight is just as heavy: the fear of falling, the loss of confidence in everyday independence, and the longing for steady, reliable sight. Eye health is more than clarity, it's the freedom to live without fear. And if two images shaking in front of you feels alarming, wait until you hear about the next symptom, where pain itself becomes the signal. Symptom number 7, eye pain or pressure. One evening, a senior sits quietly in the living room, but a dull ache begins to spread behind the eyes. The sensation grows heavier, almost like someone is pressing from inside, making it hard to focus on the TV or even keep the eyelids open. This is not the normal strain of a long day, it is a recurring diabetes symptom that should never be brushed aside. What's happening beneath the surface? High blood sugar increases fluid shifts inside the eye, raising intraocular pressure. The optic nerve, a delicate cable connecting the eye to the brain, becomes squeezed. For those over 60, aging structures already have less resilience, so the combination of diabetes and pressure makes damage much more likely. At first, the pain feels like simple fatigue, but repeated episodes can point to diabetic glaucoma or optic nerve compression. Why is this so dangerous? Because ongoing pressure silently erodes vision fibers. By the time clear sight is lost, the damage is often irreversible. Research confirms that people after 60 with uncontrolled glucose face double the risk of glaucoma compared to their peers. Beyond the statistics, the emotional burden is profound: the fear of losing independence, the worry of being unable to read, drive, or enjoy family faces. Protecting eye health isn't just medical, it's about dignity. And if pressure behind the eyes seems unsettling, the next symptom may be even more alarming, because it hides in something as simple as how you see colors. Symptom number 8, trouble distinguishing colors. Did you know that nearly 1 in 3 adults with diabetes will develop some form of color vision deficiency? For a senior, this might show up as confusion between blues and greens, or difficulty telling if fruit is ripe on the kitchen counter. At first it feels subtle, like the world has lost a little of its brightness. But gradually, favorite clothes, flowers, or traffic lights may no longer look the same. Medically, the cause lies in damage to the retina's cone cells, which detect color. High glucose slowly harms the small blood vessels feeding these cells, reducing their sensitivity. For people over 60, aging itself already diminishes color sharpness. When diabetes accelerates the process, colors fade faster, sometimes without obvious warning. The brain then receives a distorted palette, leaving daily tasks less reliable. Why is this dangerous? Because color vision isn't cosmetic, it's functional. Difficulty distinguishing colors can lead to medication errors, unsafe driving, or even missing visual signs of infection in the skin or eyes. After 60, when overall health is already at higher risk, these small mistakes can cascade into bigger complications. Beyond practicality, the emotional loss is real. Seniors describe deep sadness at no longer enjoying the vibrant hues of a garden or a painting. And if fading colors feel discouraging, the next symptom strikes even closer to home, because it changes not just what you see, but how your eyes physically look. Symptom number 9, swelling around the eyes. What a shock it is to look in the mirror one morning and see puffy eyelids staring back. For a senior, this swelling may seem like poor sleep or too much salt at dinner, but recurring puffiness around the eyes can actually be a hidden diabetes symptom. In real life, it starts subtly, a ring of swelling beneath the lower lid, a heaviness that makes glasses sit awkwardly, or difficulty opening the eyes fully after waking. Unlike the temporary puffiness younger people get, swelling tied to diabetes often lingers through the day. Here's why. High blood sugar weakens kidney function, leading to fluid retention that shows first in delicate tissues like the eyelids. At the same time, fragile blood vessels leak tiny amounts of plasma, fueling localized puffiness. For those over 60, aging lymphatic circulation already clears fluid more slowly, making the swelling more visible and harder to resolve. Why does this matter? Because persistent swelling may be an early clue to diabetic nephropathy, kidney damage that silently threatens long-term health. Left unchecked, it can progress to dangerous complications, and the eyes are simply the first visible alarm. Emotionally, the toll is heavy. Many after 60 feel embarrassed, hiding behind sunglasses, wishing for the comfort of a fresh, rested face again. And if swelling outside the eyes seems unsettling, the next symptom digs even deeper, emerging from within the head itself. Symptom number 10, frequent headaches behind the eyes. A quiet afternoon, a crossword puzzle on the table. Suddenly, a sharp ache blooms behind the eyes, spreading into the temples. A senior might rub the forehead, hoping it will fade. But instead, the pain pulses stronger, making even simple reading unbearable. These headaches are more than ordinary fatigue. For someone over 60, they can be a direct warning from diabetes. High blood sugar causes swelling in the eye's tiny blood vessels and increases pressure within the skull. The optic nerve struggles under that stress, and the brain responds with relentless pain centered deep behind the eyes. Unlike tension headaches, these return frequently, often striking at the same time each day. Why is this dangerous? Because frequent eye-centered headaches can signal diabetic retinopathy, ocular hypertension, or even mini-strokes affecting circulation to the brain. Research shows that adults after 60 with poorly managed glucose face higher risks of vision-threatening emergencies when headaches are ignored. Beyond the physical toll, the emotional burden is real. The longing for simple comfort, to enjoy a book, a movie, or a family dinner without pain, becomes a daily wish. It's not just about managing headaches, it's about restoring control, independence, and dignity in daily health. And if pounding pain behind the eyes feels overwhelming, the next symptom shifts the focus again, revealing how sudden vision loss in one eye can change everything in an instant. Symptom number 11, sudden loss of vision in one eye. It happens in a flash, literally. A senior wakes up and realizes one eye has gone dark, as if a curtain has been pulled across half the world. Panic sets in, and the question screams, will my sight come back? In the context of diabetes, sudden vision loss is no accident. When fragile retinal vessels rupture or a clot blocks circulation, blood supply to the eye is cut off. For adults over 60, where aging already narrows vessels, unstable glucose multiplies the danger. The result, a rapid blackout in one eye that may last minutes, hours, or sometimes remain permanent. This is not a symptom to dismiss. It can point to advanced diabetic retinopathy, retinal vein occlusion, or even a mini-stroke affecting the optic nerve. Research shows that after 60, people with uncontrolled diabetes face a sharply elevated risk of irreversible blindness. The emotional devastation is profound, losing the ability to read, drive, or recognize loved ones, all in an instant. The wish for a second chance at clear vision becomes almost unbearable. Here's the loop, sometimes the darkness lifts, giving false reassurance, but the real threat continues quietly, waiting for the next strike. And the next symptom proves how even light itself can become unbearable. Symptom number 12, light sensitivity, photophobia. A sunny afternoon in the park should feel joyful. Yet for a senior living with diabetes, the brightness can sting like needles, forcing eyes to squint, water, or even shut completely. What once brought pleasure, watching grandchildren play outdoors, now feels like torture under the light. Photophobia, or unusual sensitivity to light, often develops silently. For adults over 60, natural lens yellowing already reduces comfort in glare. But with diabetes, blood sugar fluctuations inflame the cornea and retina, making them hypersensitive. Tiny nerve fibers in the eye, damaged by chronic glucose spikes, fire pain signals with every flash of sunlight or even the glow of indoor bulbs. The consequences are serious. Persistent light sensitivity may signal diabetic keratopathy, early cataracts, or retinal damage. It can erode quality of life, keeping people after 60 indoors, avoiding driving at dusk, or withdrawing from social gatherings. Beyond physical strain, the emotional toll is heavy, longing to enjoy the simple freedom of a walk without pain, yet feeling trapped by one's own vision. Eye health is no longer just about clarity, it's about comfort, safety, and independence. And here lies the loop: light sensitivity often foreshadows deeper retinal stress. The glare is only the surface, what follows could be lasting harm to vision if action is delayed. If your eyes are sending these warnings, what can you actually do, today, to protect your vision and your health? That's the question every senior over 60 quietly carries. The fear of losing sight is real, not recognizing a loved one's face, not being able to drive, not enjoying a sunset. But here's the hopeful truth: many of these diabetes-related eye symptoms can be slowed, even prevented, with practical steps. The first solution is control. Keeping blood sugar steady is the foundation. Simple tools like continuous glucose monitors or regular checks before bed can reveal dangerous swings that quietly damage the retina. Pairing glucose control with blood pressure and cholesterol management multiplies protection, because these three together are the big trio influencing eye vessels after 60. The second solution is nutrition. Studies confirm that leafy greens like spinach, kale, and broccoli supply lutein and zeaxanthin, powerful antioxidants that filter harmful light and strengthen the retina. Omega-3 fatty acids from salmon or chia seeds support tear production, easing dry eyes. Vitamins C and E help neutralize oxidative stress, slowing cataracts and retinopathy. A colorful plate isn't just food, it's medicine for the eyes. The third is routine care. Yearly dilated eye exams allow doctors to spot microscopic leaks or vessel changes long before vision is lost. For someone with diabetes after 60, this isn't optional, it's the safety net that can preserve independence. Pair that with simple habits: wearing UV protective sunglasses outdoors, using humidifiers indoors to ease dryness, and staying hydrated. But here's the loop: protecting your vision is not about one magic pill, it's about daily choices that add up. Each small step reduces the burden on fragile eye tissue, extending the years of clarity and freedom. And in a moment, I'll share how these solutions connect to your everyday life in ways most people overlook. Your eyes are more than organs of sight, they are the windows to your independence, your joy, your dignity. For every senior living with diabetes, protecting vision means protecting memories, relationships, and daily freedom. Now that you've seen the 12 key eye symptoms to watch after 60, take a moment to reflect: have you experienced any of them? Sharing your story in the comments may help someone else recognize theirs. That sense of connection, of knowing you're not alone, can be just as healing as the medical care itself. If this video gave you clarity, consider subscribing. Each week, we uncover practical insights designed to help seniors protect their health and live with confidence, not fear. A simple share could guide another friend or family member to take action before it's too late. And here's a gentle invitation: don't stop here. In our next video, we'll explore the nighttime diabetes symptoms that silently shape your mornings. Some of them are even more surprising than what you've just learned today. Because your health story isn't finished, and neither is the journey toward keeping your vision strong.